I'm a little bit tired, but it's okay. I will be fine.
Nice, nice.
I didn't want to come.
Oh,
I
really?
was, yeah, but tomorrow we have elections here, so
Uh-huh.
I had to come back. Mhm.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can imagine. Did you so you were in the eastern part of the country, right?
Yeah, it's in the eastern part.
Nice, nice. That's really good. There's a good amount of. I actually did some extreme stuff today. Extreme for me. My friend dragged me to the top of a mountain. So we were biking, and he said, "Just come with me. We're going to a park. Come with me." So I go to the park, and it turns out to be a huge mountain. And
Wow.
so we climbed all the way to the top. I was saying some not so nice things to my friend when we were walking up that mountain because I was trying to carry my bike, and he was saying, "Come on, man, come on, do it," you know. So it was a funny situation for us today. But yeah, besides that, just planning my next project right now. So I'm staying busy.
Are you still in California?
Sí, señorita, absolutely. California is where it's at, El Paraíso.
Ah,
And the
El
decision,
Paraíso.
actually, the decision, la tierra de miel y leche, right? The decision is that I will not leave California, actually, until I don't know. So I'm just going to go back home for Christmas and to see my family. They live in New York, so all the way across the country, right, from California to New York. And then after that, after I meet my family, I'll come right back to California. So I'm going to be imposing on my friends here for another, I don't know how long. And maybe when the weather gets better, before things get really, really warm in the springtime, I have to make a decision of where I will move because Wisconsin, I have that apartment only until March 15, I think, March 15 or 16. So I
So
have to decide.
you don't live with your family in Wisconsin.
No, no, my family lives in New York.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, nobody lived with me in Wisconsin. I was living alone, but all my friends are in California. So
Ah,
so I
yeah, yeah.
came here to be with them, and it's because we're working on projects. We're working on. I'm thinking of graduate school projects, all sorts of things. So um,
Yeah, maybe there you can find more opportunities to
yeah,
get a
Wisconsin
job.
is like just milk and cows and cheese, and I mean, it's not a very active state like California, New York, Texas, much more active. A lot of things happening.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey, Gregory, welcome back.
Hello, I don't see who is it. It's Yulisa?
Yes. Hi, Gregory. How are
Ah,
you?
new. Thank. I'm fine. New picture. It is you on the picture.
Yes, it's from my last recent trip that I took to the jungle.
Uh, Nice to see you again, Yulisa.
Nice to see you, Gregory.
It was good trip.
Yeah, I was there for 8 days. It was sunny the two first days, but then it started to rain. It was cloudy. But for me, that's amazing because here I don't see a real rain. There is like a shower with thunderstorm, and yeah, I like
What is it? Uh, Rainforest. It's jungle. Yes.
yes. It's jungle.
Ah, it's
It's all
dangerous.
green around. No, it's not that dangerous. There are not dangerous animals because the animals are disappearing there or are moving to other parts.
Uh, okay. I envy.
Yeah, it's so fun. Julie said that you were able to travel to the jungle. I have never been able to do that.
Yeah, you
Not
should.
a real jungle, not a real jungle. I've gone to maybe the zoo and they had a jungle section of the zoo, but not a real jungle.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
the same. The zoo, it's all artificial.
exactly, exactly. So, great, guys, great. Let's get started then, guys. Thank you for joining, as always. Today we are going to be taking a look at modals of ability and permission, right? And this actually, Julissa, I don't know if I was able to tell you, but Colingo has kind of modified all the levels, and this class is a high intermediate level class. The thing with high intermediate is that you guys are both above that level, I would say. But the way that it's broken up is we spend some time going over the grammar, and then the vast majority of the time is about the discussion. So I'm not going to be spending too much time on the grammar. I'm just going to be looking to see if we understand the different concepts, and then once we make some examples and I kind of have a conversation with you guys, we'll move on to the article, right? So today we're talking about food, actually, and when we are talking about food, we talk about, many of my articles have focused on fast food, many of my articles have focused on eating healthy, especially in a world where we have a lot of food that is available to us that is packaged and not very healthy. And the interesting thing about health and food and healthcare is that this article suggests a new way of labeling food so that it makes it easy for people to know what they are eating, right? For example, right now, if I go to a store, anywhere in the United States, right, I see any food item needs to have a box that says nutrition facts, right? And this nutrition facts, they have to tell us how many calories, how many grams of fat, how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbohydrates, etc., right? Tons of information on this label, right? The average person really does not read these labels, right? Someone like me, because now I'm going crazy, I want to live a very healthy diet, or live a very healthy life and eat very healthy, I read that. I read those boxes. But the vast majority of people, they just buy what they like, they buy what's tasty, they don't really care about those labels, right? So the idea is, can we develop a new, easy-to-understand food labeling system, right? Maybe number 1 is extremely unhealthy, number 5 is extremely healthy, right? So every food has a package, or every food package has a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You look at it, you say, okay, maybe today I want to eat more healthy, I will go with the number 3, medium. Not healthy, not unhealthy, right? So this is the idea that this company, or a lot of companies, are now starting to develop. They want to have this as an option, right? So we'll talk about that in the second part of the class. In the first part of the class, guys, when we talk about modals of ability and permission, right? So modals of ability and permission. And one of the words that we're going to focus on is the word can, right? Can is the most popular, is the main modal of possibility. But we also have could, and we also have may, right? So modals, I'm sorry, I said modals of possibility, excuse me. Modals of ability and modals of permission, right? So if I can do something, if I could do something, could I help you with your homework? I'm asking for permission, May I go to the restroom, right? May I walk outside in the dark? Maybe you're younger and you have to ask your parents, right? But the main one is can, right? The main verb, the main modal of ability is can. I can drive 60 hours across the country, right? You guys know about my crazy travel, right? I can speak Spanish and English, right? Whatever, your ability to do something. So I wanted to start the conversation with you guys by asking, what is something that you can do very easily? Very easily. You don't have to think about it. You're an expert. You don't have to worry about it, right? So Julissa, what can you do very easily? What's something that you can do very easily?
I can ride my bicycle.
You can ride your bicycle. Fantastic. When did you learn how to ride your bicycle, Julissa?
When I was 6,
When you were 6,
5 or 6 years old.
5 or 6,
Yeah.
yeah. So essentially when you were much younger, right?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic, awesome. So we heard from Julissa, I can ride my bike, right? I can ride my bike very well, or I can ride my bike. Gregory, it seems like you are outside running, right? Or walking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
I
Gregory, what's
can
some?
walk in.
Yeah.
I can I can walk in each morning.
So I can walk each morning, right? Remember, guys, after
Like
the
like I do right now.
yeah, exactly. I can walk every
Okay?
morning, like I am right now. Yeah, yeah, that works. That works, Gregory. The one thing I would say is after we have the verb, the modal can, we have to actually use the base form of the verb, right? So we can't say walking. We have to say walk, right? So I can walk, I can drive, I
Okay.
can ride my bike, I can speak, right? So it's always we use the subject plus can plus the verb in the base form, right? Plus verb in base form. So I can run, I can study, whatever the case is, right? And what about also, I wanted to ask you guys about could have, right? When we have could have, we can say, for example, the subject plus could have plus the past participle, right? So if I say, for example, subject plus, let me just write this down first, subject, could have, and past participle. How do we use this construction? Julissa, have you, for example, I could have gone to sleep earlier, right? When do you think we use this could have plus past participle construction?
I could have gone to sleep earlier. Maybe
Yeah, it's like
I'm sorry, guys, go
when you
ahead.
talk
Yeah.
when you talk about that something that you could do in the past, but you didn't want to, or you didn't want to.
Yeah, but you didn't do. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Julie. So you hit the nail right on the head, right? So something that you had the opportunity to do that you chose not to do, right? So you could have done something, but you didn't do it, right? So you had a choice, but you chose not to. Yeah, fantastic, Julissa. Could you give us an example, Julissa, of maybe one thing that you could say about something like that? Maybe something recently. Actually, something that you mentioned to us today you can use in this example, but I'll let you decide.
Okay, I could have.
Let me ask you this, Julissa, just to help you out. Did you want to come back to Lima today?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Not yet,
yeah,
but
uh-huh.
I had to.
So then how could you use could have in that same sentence?
No, but I couldn't have.
Oh, so you want to use it
I
as the
was
opposite.
scheduled to.
You were scheduled to come
Yeah,
back. Uh-huh, okay.
I
I
wish.
was,
I wish I could have.
yes, yes. So yeah, how could you make that sentence then? Using wish, I wish I could have.
I wish I could. I wish I could have stayed longer in the Amazon.
Yeah, fantastic. I wish I could have stayed longer in the Amazon, right? So something that you couldn't do, but you wish you had done, right? Or if I don't want to use wish, I could just say the basic, right? I wish, or I could have studied more, but I decided to go to the party, right? Or but I didn't want to, right? Something you had the opportunity to do that you didn't do, right? Simple as that. Fantastic. And what about you, Gregory? What about one example was using could have. I could have, and then a past participle.
I could have learned English when I was young, but unfortunately I not do it.
Exactly, exactly. I could have learned English when I was young, but unfortunately I did not do it, right? Or I didn't do it, right? Fantastic. So, any questions so far, guys, on those two types of construction?
It's okay.
It's okay? All right. I wanted to ask, so Julissa, how can we use could for a polite request? This is going to be the last part that we look at. Is it possible to use could when we make a polite question?
Yes, it's very polite. For example, you can say, "Could you do me a favor?"
Exactly, exactly. Could you do me a favor? Could you help me with the menu? Could you help me with my homework, right? So many different ways, right? So could, when we use it in the context of a sentence, is a way that we can make a very polite request. We can make a sentence that's very, very polite. right? Um, that's really the last thing I wanted to talk about, guys. Any other questions about could?
No.
Make sense? Okie dokie. So now, guys, I want to transition to this article, right? And Julissa, I'm not sure when you were around when we were doing the transition to a certain extent, but my biggest thing right now with the article is that anytime you guys see anything that doesn't make sense, words or verbs or vocabulary, whatever, please, please stop me, right? So we can go over them. And every few paragraphs, I'm also going to ask, did everything
Yes,
make sense? Is everything good?
that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, fantastic. So please don't hesitate. My biggest idea is please, please, please don't hesitate. Just be like, Farhan, stop. What are you doing? Stop.
Or
Yeah.
maybe we can write down the words that we don't understand
Yeah, sure,
in
whatever
the
you
chat.
like. Yeah, whatever you like. But sometimes I actually don't hear the chat sound. So now I'm actually operating on two monitors, guys. So I have a monitor here, over here, and a monitor here. So I might be able to check, but if I don't, then if you see that I'm going on and on, don't hesitate to stop me. Just say, Farhan, stop,
Oh,
and
okay.
we'll be able to I'll do that. It's not a problem for me, right? So there's the article, guys, and let's see if we can screen share this guy. Oh, it's on this one. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, this one right here. Okay, fantastic. So, health score. Ay, Dios mío. Okay, I got to make this better. Health score on food packages, right, may help consumers make healthier choices, right? Health score on food packages may help consumers make healthier choices. For people trying to wade through nutrition labels and choose healthy options, a front of package food label that boils down nutrition information to a single score may be the most user-friendly approach, a new study suggests. Right? What do you guys think wade through means? For people trying to wade through.
Is it true or though?
Ah, yeah, they made a mistake, guys. It should be through. It should be through. Yeah. So let me actually write that down so we have it as a reference. Wade through. Yeah. I can't believe these people have published these articles without anybody reading them. This is the what? This is the sixth word in the sentence, and it has a mistake,
Yeah, it
right?
happened.
It makes me so angry sometimes. But yeah, wade through, right? Wade through, guys. When you wade through something, right? The best way to think about this is say you are in a river and you are wading through the water, not swimming, not swimming. You're just wading through. You're just moving your feet slowly through. Maybe in the jungle you have the rivers that are very concentrated. They have a lot of grass, right? They're very thick water. You're trying to wade through a very thick environment, maybe weeds and vegetables and plants and everything like that. So we use wade through a lot for water, right? If you're traveling in water. So if you're trying to wade through something, right, it's a difficult thing that you're trying to navigate through, right? That's the meaning. Something complicated, something difficult, something that's not very easy. You're trying to wade through that. You're trying to pass through that kind of a situation. Does that make sense, guys? Julissa?
Yes, trying to wade through nutrition labels.
Yeah, so what are they saying in that one then, actually, Julissa? If they're saying wade through, using my example of a river or a very thick area of, like vegetation, maybe you're in the jungle and you're trying to wade through a river or a stream or a forested area, you know. So if you're trying to wade through nutrition labels, right, they're saying the complexity of nutrition labels, right? Think about all of these. I mean, just in this picture, right? This lady has something in her hand, this one box in her hand, but she has hundreds of things all over, right? I mean, what are these things, right? Other foods, other labels, tons of labels, right? So she's trying to make sense of all that.
Say, write it very small letters. You don't see. I, without my glasses, cannot see these words about nutritious.
Exactly, right? So it's difficult to find this information, right? Difficult to navigate through all of the different types of nutrition labels that exist, right? So that's what they're primarily saying in this one. Does that help a little bit, Jaleesa?
Yes, it's like
It,
to understand and maybe.
to make sense, actually, I think, right? To make sense of something, to understand something, to navigate through something that is otherwise very complex,
Uh-huh.
you know? So that's, I think, a good one. Hey, Jose, how's it going, man?
Hello, Farhan. Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Sorry for delaying. Uh, I was just eating something before to keep on using Duolingo.
Fantastic. Was it something delicious, like salchipapas?
Not really. I'm drinking my Inca Cola and a cake and a sandwich triplet.
Hey, come on, man. If you're having Inca Kola, you have to have salchipapas on the side.
Yeah, I will try to eat this for the next class as well and tell you the taste.
Absolutely. I would imagine it tastes delicious, right? So,
Of course, salchipapa, anticuchos, everything.
Wow.
absolutely. Uh-huh. It's awesome. It's awesome. I was at this restaurant earlier in the week. I was at a place called La Taqueria Guadalajara, and right outside La Taqueria Guadalajara, there was a truck that said El Sabor de Michoacán, right? Which is a province in Mexico. El Sabor de Michoacán. There are so many taquerias here that you have no excuse. Literally, if you want a taco, you can get a taco with shrimp, with beef, with chicken, with avocado, with vegetables and corn, and every type of food. I mean, all I can say is Viva la raza. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I have become so Mexican here, guys. Everything I eat, everything I touch, it's all parte de Mexico. You know what I mean? It's just amazing experience, guys. Anyway, okay, before I get too crazy, right? So Jose, we're looking at this article about food labels, right? And there's a new study that's saying that instead of having the nutrition labels that we have today that are very hard to read and very difficult, right? That it might be easier if we have a label, a very easy to see label at the top of a package that says, that gives a score. There's maybe a range, right? 1 through 10. 1 is the healthiest, 10 is the worst type of food, right? And that may make people make better decisions, right? If we have something that's easy to read. So here we're starting with the second paragraph. In recent years, the fronts of some food packages have been decorated with short food labels, which are intended to briefly summarize a product's nutrition and make unhealthy ingredients, such as high levels of saturated fat, highly visible to consumers, right? So these shorter labels, they give a summary. What's a summary, guys? If somebody says, I summarized something, what's a summary?
To
In
provide
short.
a short version.
Yeah. Just a very short version of something, right? Instead of all the details, it's giving you just the main idea, right? And now, and these short labels are very, very visible, right? You don't have to read a lot. You can just read 1 or 2 lines and you have all the information. However, there is currently no standard for what information needs to be on these labels, right? Leading to a variety of front-of-package food labeling systems that may confuse consumers, said study researcher Christina A. Roberto, a psychologist and epidemiologist at the Harvard School of Public Health. Right? So there is no standard for what information needs to be on these labels, right? Experts say that a single, uniform food label should be adopted, but before this can happen, researchers need to know what works best. The new study attempted to help answer this question by comparing 5 front-of-package food labeling systems as well as packages with no label, right? Any questions, guys, on these 2 paragraphs on what their plan was in this research? Going once, going twice, sold. Okay, no questions. More than 1,000 people right? About half of whom were actively trying to lose weight were randomly assigned to view food products with one of the following labels, right? So these were the types of labels that they were showing. Number one, a facts up front label, which was created by the food industry and contains information about calories, saturated fat, sodium, and sugars, as well as any noteworthy vitamins, right? So this is the first type. It's gives you the facts, right? What do you think it means, guys, when we say in English the phrase up front? It's kind of like slang, but we use it a lot, right? What's something that's up front?
In front.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Julissa, something that's up front is something that's in front, right? Something that without hiding, it's telling you very openly what's happening, right? So sometimes people say to each other, "Why can't you just be upfront with me? Be upfront with me," right? Sometimes in relationships, maybe the girlfriend says to the boyfriend, "Just be upfront with me," right? Don't give me any of those excuses. Just tell me the open, honest truth, right? So facts up front, it's just giving you all the facts, the calories, the fat, the sodium, right? They're not hiding anything, right? So this is one type. A second type is the new val label, which is a proprietary.
Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead,
what
Julissa. Yeah,
what is noteworthy?
fantastic question. Noteworthy, right? Noteworthy means something that is significant, right? Anything that is noteworthy is anything that is significant. So there are a lot of vitamins that we have in our diet, like vitamin E and vitamin K and vitamin, I don't know, there's all these different types that are not very significant, right? But vitamin B, for example, vitamin B12 is a very significant vitamin, right? So that would be considered a noteworthy vitamin. Vitamin C is very noteworthy, vitamin A is very noteworthy, vitamin D, right? So they would only focus on the most significant vitamins in this kind of label.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, great question. Jose and Gregory, you guys don't have any questions
Not yet.
already? Sounds
I'm not.
good. All right, awesome. Thanks, guys. So this new val label, right? So that's the first one, the facts up front. The second type, guys, is a new val label, which is a proprietary labeling system that gives products a score from 1 to 100 based on a product's nutritional quality. Higher score denotes healthier product, right? So this is a system which is proprietary, guys, means I don't actually know, guys. Proprietary, dude, what does proprietary mean? Do you know what that means?
Specific to one business.
Specific to one business? Okay. My friend says specific to one business, and I believe him, right?
Microsoft.
Proprietary, something that's proprietary?
Apple, iOS now.
Oh, interesting.
iOS.
Cool. So my friend tells me, right, something that's proprietary, something that belongs to one business. So Apple owns, for example, the iOS operating system. Microsoft owns the Windows operating systems. So this is something that the new Val label, I guess, belongs to a specific company, maybe the new Val company, right? So, and this one has a score from 1 to 100, right? The higher the score, the healthier the product, right? Any questions on that one, guys?
No.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. A single traffic light symbol. This is the next one, right? A traffic light symbol. How creative is that, right? Which is colored red, yellow, or green, just like we see when we are driving, right? Based on the healthfulness of the product, right? So if it's red, it's unhealthy. If it's yellow, it's medium. If it's green, it's healthy, right? And then another type, which is a label depicting is the same as showing, right? A label showing multiple traffic lights, okay, in which different nutrients get their own red, yellow, green symbol, such as green for fat, but yellow for sodium, right? So this is even more detailed than the single traffic light system, right? The single traffic light is just one light, one color, red, yellow, green. This one is showing a different color for each of the different types. Fat versus sodium versus whatever, right? And then the last two types are the star system, in which a product is given 0 to 3 stars based on its nutritional quality, and the very last thing is just no label whatsoever. which is what we have right now, right? There's no extra labels. We just have the nutrition facts on the side, right? So overall, guys, six different types, right? Facts up front, which gives you all the facts openly. New val, which is 1 through 100. Single traffic light, multiple traffic light, stars, and nothing at all, right? Any questions, guys, on these 6 types? Going once, going twice. Okay, sold. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so now, guys, I am going to just look at some of the examples they found, right? So when they were asking people in this study to use these types of symbols, right? When shown 2 products and asked which is healthier, the new val label, along with the multiple traffic light label, worked best to help participants identify which product was truly healthier. So out of all these 6 types, the new val system, which was the 1 through 100, and the multiple traffic lights, that helped people the most. However, those who viewed the new val label were able to choose the healthier product in half the time as those who viewed the multiple traffic light label, right? So these 2 were the best, but among these 2, when we compared these 2 best types, the new val label allowed people to choose the healthier product much more quickly than the multiple traffic light, right? Based on these preliminary data, new val is probably the most user-friendly, Roberto said. The simplicity of the system, right, just one number from 1 through 100, and the fact that it allows users to compare products with high and low numbers may be helpful to consumers, right? And I think, guys, that's a good place to stop, right? I want to take some time now to really ask you guys, right, what do you think about this? What's your reaction to this article, guys? Gregory, let's start with you.
According,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, my humble opinion. I think all this article is big blah blah, because we learned it in your class. Big food companies not show their food unhealthy, never, and not admit it, never, and say all for high disinformation. So we have in Israel special shops where healthy food, and we have in Israel in big supermarkets special department for healthy food, but I'm not sure it's and it's expensive. There is fact, but it's not healthy. I'm not sure at all, and I don't believe in healthy food. You see, it's my point.
Yeah, no, that's great, Gregory. I like how honest and upfront you are, right, with this idea, right? Because honestly, I mean, who knows, right? They don't. This article does not mention who will be controlling this, right? They're just labeling different types of examples, right? Different possibilities of what could work and what could not work, what's user-friendly, what's not user-friendly, right? That's really what they're focusing on. Currently in the United States, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, controls everything that has to do with food. So they make the rules, how do you label something, how do you write something on a package, right? They control the current nutritional facts, right, that you find on any food item, right? But generally, let me see if I can find one on this. No, there's nothing on this. But generally, it's a system that I think works fairly well. If you want to read about it, you read it. If you don't care, then don't read it, right? Jose, what do you think about this article? Do you think it would be a nice improvement to have something like this? Or maybe out of the 6 types, which one do you like the most,
Well, I think it's a good idea, but it will be another example of a lip service. And I agree with Gregory. There is many or much money involved in this industry, and this kind of new labels can perturb the system, how the companies are earning their can you hear me now? Okay, are earning their profits.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit difficult. It's hard enough to get a label for organic food, for example, and you are in this case for organic food you are only showing that this is organic and this is not organic. But now with this kind of labels, you will show labels for almost all kind of food in a supermarket. That will be maybe even a disaster for many companies. So I think it's will be or it surely will be very difficult to deploy this new system. Surely there will be a strong lobby trying to avoid this.
Yeah, the lobby thing is extremely important to mention in the context of this conversation. But also, I think you guys have made a very good point about the the blah blah as we heard from Gregory, right? I mean, what is who will people be honest when they report this information? Do you think a company will be honest when if they say, "Oh, ours is 3 stars, ours is a green light, ours is 100, 100, 100. We have the healthiest, the best." Do you think we will have honest reporting, Jose, or will there be a lot of misinformation?
According Well, according of the food, maybe if they're selling, for example, mayonnaise, of course they won't put any star, or they will put a light, a red light, of course. But what if they're selling, don't know, some kind of rice?
Salchipapas,
Yeah,
salchipapas.
salchipapa. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
salchipapa is potatoes. Potato
Uh-huh.
is healthy,
Uh-huh.
but it's made on many oil. That's not healthy. That's a bad news for these companies. Or there are not many some kind of food that are not or are in the process are not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Not for the food itself, but for the way they had processed this food.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they will try to avoid this information. Of course there will
Yeah.
be, yeah, there will be some kind of food that surely nobody will believe you if you put a green light, for example
Mm-hmm.
mayonnaise. But
Maybe it's fat-free,
yeah,
Jose. Maybe it's fat-free mayonnaise, right?
but usually what is healthy is not flavor. It's not good for the
Yeah.
taste.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I agree, right? The delicious stuff they all have a lot of fat and are very unhealthy, right?
yeah, or many sugar maybe.
Lots of sugar, yeah, lots of
Yeah,
sugar and
a lot of sugar. So
yeah. No, no, that's fine. So I don't know, guys. I like the idea. I like the idea of having I like the idea of having the traffic lights actually. Because right, you know why I like the traffic lights? It's even easier than numbers, right? It's just look at it 1 second, oh red light, can't have that today. I already had 2 red lights today, right? I have to go
oh, me
for
too.
green light.
Yeah, me too. Of course, in if I go to the supermarket and have the chance to choose my own food, my healthy food, I will always follow. I will always choose the green lights.
Uh-huh.
But don't know who is regulating these labels, what is involved, who is behind this,
Conspiracy.
and yeah, the
Yeah.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
just it's a big plan to make us all fat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Always a conspiracy theory. The CIA is involved,
Oh yeah.
and
CIA
yeah,
definitely involved in this one. Definitely.
of course, yeah. But don't know if it will become true in a close future,
Uh-huh. In the near future,
in the
we'll
near
say. In
future.
the near future, huh? Yeah.
I would like to this idea become successful.
Yeah, if there's honest regulation, guys, I think this would be phenomenal. Phenomenal, right? Because people don't, nobody reads the labels on the side of a box. Even nutritious people, they don't read it, right? They look at the box, the front of the box. Oh, 100% fat-free, 100% whole wheat, 100% blah blah blah. I mean, who turns it and reads 36 grams of fat, 24 grams of carb? Nobody reads that,
Yeah.
right? Nobody does that.
Yeah, I remember in my country we had once light cigarettes,
Oh,
like
so
free
green
of
cigarettes, green light cigarettes.
yeah, light cigarettes, like to say free of nicotine. No, that doesn't exist. Light cigarette, you don't, and it lasted just for a short time because there was an institute who or which prohibited to put that label,
Uh-huh.
and they had been forced to remove this word. It's only cigarette. So they're
Oh,
not.
wow.
Yeah, there's no healthy cigarettes.
Have you
That
guys heard
doesn't.
of have you guys heard of the electronic cigarettes now? They don't use there's no smoke. You just it's water vapor.
Oh yeah, yes, but that's a
Check this
device.
one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about
So this is the same.
the
Nice. Alright. So we take this.
regular
It's
cigarette.
responsive.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Interesting,
You don't
interesting.
this one?
And Julissa, what's your reaction to
Check
something
it
like
too. I'll
this?
show you. No, go down, go down.
Well, as you said, when I buy something, I never read the package or what contains.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes when I'm curious, I just how do you say, turn up,
You want to get this one?
Turn around the package or
If we
turn the
use this
package
turn
one, we
around.
can
around,
also get rid of that
Yeah.
turn
wild
around the package and check. But at that time, I'm already eating it. So
It's right here.
Oh.
You can download
In the
it.
store
does it
itself, before you
Check
even pay for it, Julissa, you start eating it.
yeah, just by curiosity, I start reading.
These guys,
But
Oh,
I
okay.
think it would be a great idea.
It's free.
About the labels, I think I
Alright,
like
let me email it to you
the
now.
score label.
Oh, so you
I
like the
think that
score
is,
one. I like the color
We
one.
gotta put the content.
You like the score
yeah,
one.
it's
Yeah, I'm gonna email
more
you the one so
simple.
you can
You
play with
just
it.
by
I'm gonna
numbers, you
work with the
know which
content right
one
now.
is healthier than the others. And
Uh-huh.
maybe on the other side, we could have the more specific
Alright, you gotta work on this.
what it
I'm thinking of
contains.
like.
Uh-huh. So you have the general number and
But
then you still have the specific on the other
uh,
side.
Did you get the email?
yeah, in the upfront, the
Yeah.
number, the score, and then on the other side, the more a more detailed information. But as you said, I don't think the companies are going to be the ones who are going to put or to score their own products. But it would be good if there is another kind of organization who can take part of this, who can be in charge of labeling the products, because the companies themselves, they are not going to do that.
Mm-hmm. And I think this brings us back to the question of the lobbies, right? I mean, whoever controls this marking system, this system of labeling, right? They might be, you know, they might be the targets of many different lobbies, right? Many different groups, you know. The mayonnaise industry, for example, Jose, let's say, I think Jose loves mayonnaise, right? We're going to make Jose the CEO of all the mayonnaise in the world, okay? Let's just say that, right? So we have this labeling system. America has a huge mayonnaise eating population, right? I think Jose will send a couple of assassins, right? Or maybe some samurai, or maybe some people, right? Some ninjas, right? To influence this board that does the labeling, right? I mean, he has so much money that he's making off the mayonnaise. He's not going to just sit back and say, "Oh, 0 stars, red light, zero, zero value," right? I mean, it's from 0 to 100. Mayonnaise gets zero, right? I mean, these lobbies are going to be crazy, I think, right? I think, Jose, you were saying about the lobbies before. Were you thinking something like this, or were you thinking something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Manis?
Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, yeah. Mayonnaise. So we
My,
actually got we actually just say mayo. Mayo works like
Mayo.
mayo. Cinco de Mayo. Orale. Mayo, yeah. Mayo, mayonnaise, exactly.
mayonnaise.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's
Uh-huh.
not mayonnaise.
No, actually, we say mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. Oh,
Mayonnaise,
okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Mayonnaise. Okay,
Uh-huh.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So yeah,
Uh,
I think you would do that, right? If you were the CEO, you have a lot to lose, right? You would try to influence, this board.
yeah, definitely. And if someone is trying to ruin my business, and what could I do? Try to stop him. Don't know. Maybe try to make him an offer that he cannot refuse. Don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Godfather.
The Godfather, yeah, exactly, right. Make
Yeah,
him an offer he cannot refuse. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. But Julissa, I think you have a good understanding as well of the labels that would work. You liked the number label just like we see in the article. Most of the people like the number label. Do you think there would be support for something like this across the world, or maybe specifically in Peru, maybe across the world also? Do you think people would support this, or would it just be another blah blah number? Who cares? I don't believe it, kind of thing.
Well, here I remember that recently the government tried to control the advertisement of some products that were directed to kids and teens.
Hmm.
They were trying to control. I think they approved that law, but many people complain because they say that they they have the freedom to choose what products they want, and others say that controlling advertisement is not going to do anything because these companies have so much money and they can find other channels to sell their products. So there was a debate, but I
Hmm.
think if the if these new ideas come from the consumers, then maybe it could work. I guess nowadays more people are getting more worried about what they eat because of all the idea about eating healthy and people getting fat.
People are much more health conscious, Julissa, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
nowadays
Uh-huh.
they they talk more about organic food that in the past we didn't have all this. So maybe yes, by the consumers we could have a more pressure to for them to know what they are eating. Yes, so that could start the change. But from the side of the companies, I don't know if they would be open to do this
Hmm.
because obviously they are not going to tell that their products is not qualified or so.
Julissa, I do disagree with just one thing you're saying, right? And I think one thing that we've been saying, all of us have been saying, right? Do you guys really think every company will care? Some companies, maybe their business is built on the idea that they are delicious and fat and juicy and unhealthy, and that's the way God likes it to be, right? Because, for example, I'm saying this, I'm saying this
Like
not to be silly,
for
but it does
example,
exist. Yeah. Go ahead, Julissa. Yeah.
for example,
Oh, for example, oh, okay, you wanted an example from me. Fantastic. I thought you wanted to say something yourself, Julissa. Sorry. For example, there is a type of sauce that we apply to barbecue sauce. Okay, so it's a type of sauce that we use on barbecue, and we know, okay, that this company, that when they make this barbecue sauce, I'm not going to say the company name because they might sue me since this is a recorded lecture, right? This sauce is extremely healthy, or extremely unhealthy, excuse me, right? They say right on the bottle, we don't hide our ingredients. Read the back, right? You read the back and it says, you know, 15 grams of fat in 1 spoon of this sauce. And people are putting tablespoons and they're putting brushes of, more and more and more, just putting it all on the meat, right? On the barbecue because they don't care. Their customers do not care. Honestly, their customers do not care. So there are a lot of people like that, and there are businesses. I do realize that business is a minority of businesses, right? Every business, not every business follows the same model, but some businesses might not care, right? This is one thing I wanted to mention really quickly. But the other thing I wanted to actually ask about, guys, is do you think this is a socioeconomic problem as well? Because I personally believe that once we see this score or red light, green light battle begin, that just like we see with the organic and inorganic food or unorganic food, right? Organic stuff costs much more, right? And I think it's the same thing's going to happen here, in which the companies that say we have a score that is lower or a green light or yellow light, they are going to be charging much more than the companies that don't have that. And as a result, will this become, oh, I'm rich, I can afford the less, less unhealthy option, or oh, I'm poor, I have no option, I have to eat the unhealthy stuff. Do you guys think that's going to be a problem, the pricing of these kinds of foods? Julissa, what do you think? Or Jose, okay. Either person. Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
Okay, Julissa, you first, please.
Ladies
You
first.
first.
Ladies first.
Ah, caballero, por favor.
I'm
No,
still thinking of my
okay.
answer.
Okay, Jose, go ahead then, please, por favor.
Okay, yes, as I said, there are much money involved in this, and and surely if you would like if you want to have the totally or the entire information, surely you will need to pay a little bit more, for example, to have a label, and it has a cost. Someone has to regulate it, and surely to be very well paid. And what if other companies don't want to use these labels? Immediately, if I were the consumer that have the chance to choose a product that has the label or another that has not the label, I
Mm-hmm.
will choose the product that has a label because they're not avoiding information,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see the green light. In another product that has not the label, I might have my doubts because why they don't want to be regulated, why they don't want to show that kind of label. Are they hiding something? What's happened with this? Are they involved in something?
Jose, because they believe in freedom. They don't believe in the CIA, this conspiracy. No, we believe in
Oh yeah.
freedom. Órale!
Oh yeah, yeah, but many people. That's a how to say that's a behave that I could see that many people have.
Mm-hmm.
If you show your um, all your information, you start to suspicious of the other guys or the other companies that don't want to show the entire information as
Mm-hmm.
the first one. And the people tend to accept more the first one who is showing the entire information.
Mm-hmm.
That might work maybe in this case, or that make the people make their choice,
Mm-hmm.
and of course they will choose always the company that is providing information
Mm-hmm.
using this green light.
Yeah, so there's competition will increase between the companies, I think, right?
Yes, maybe
And
if the
that
other
always.
company, yeah,
No, go ahead, Jose. Go ahead.
go ahead, please. No, to
Oh no.
repeat, but
Uh,
if the other company doesn't show the labels, usually because he will be forced, or this company will be forced to show a red light. So
yeah.
that's why this company doesn't want to show the label.
Hmm. So true, so true. And competition increases prices, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it hurts the consumer sometimes. If actually not always, competition also brings down prices sometimes. But thinking about the consumer, the person buying this stuff, might not be healthy if we have companies fighting over this stuff, labels and versus no labels. It could get very confusing, right? Yeah, Julissa, what do you think about the same question? The socioeconomic stuff especially. But yeah, go ahead, Julissa. Sorry.
It can be confusing, and also there would be more pressure in the on the consumers, because if, for example, they see that their friends or the people that they know are buying some types of products and they don't, that's like make you feel I have to do something similar to be
Hmm.
according to that, because if not, that means I'm not buying healthier things or products.
Yeah.
But at the end, yeah, I think the the chose. Wow, my English. I'm not practicing.
No, that's fine.
the,
You're
the,
doing
the,
great. You're doing
the,
great.
the chose would be on the should be on the consumers at the end.
Uh-huh.
The,
Yeah. The consumer is king, right? I mean, that's why they're doing all this, right? Because of me, you, everybody in the world, right? Who wants to eat healthy, right? We don't care about the people who don't want to eat healthy. They can do whatever they want, right? But at the end of the day, the whole idea is if you have that desire to eat healthy, the system should be designed to help you, right? And if it's causing increasing amounts of confusion and problems and doubt and issues, then it's not good. You know, it doesn't help the society any more than it might actually hurt the society. People might say, "Oh, this is ridiculous," and not do any of it, right? So it's a balance, guys. We don't know yet actually when this will be implemented. I have no idea. This is just research. But maybe if things go forward the way these research scientists want, maybe in a few years they will be able to introduce something like this to the
and
wider market.
who is promoting this? The government or the companies?
I think it's right now. It's an organic movement from researchers at Harvard, actually. So they just looks like an academic research project from the Harvard University School of Public Health, right? So it seems to be something that is more academic, and professors and people are saying that this is a good idea. But honestly, none of this stuff can get anywhere unless there's government regulation. In the United States, at least, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, absolutely needs to approve something like this before it can proceed. You know, so the government will get involved sooner or later, and when that happens, guys, it's all about conspiracies. I'm just joking. I'm just joking, guys. No, Jose, don't send a samurai after me, please. I'm just joking.
No way. I'll send you Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
That's
those
even worse.
metals.
That's even worse. I'll kill
Yeah,
myself.
that's even worse. Yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Anyway, guys, thank you for such a great class, guys. Any questions about any of the stuff we talked about, mayonnaise or anything like that? I don't know why. I light cigarettes or mayonnaise or any other interesting things you guys want to talk about.
No. Do you smoke?
Do I smoke? No, I don't actually.
Ah,
Yeah, no smoking. No
please.
smoking, no drinking, no gambling, nothing. I'm just a good kid, normal good kid. No, I'm just joking. Well, no, but I don't smoke. No, I don't smoke. So anyway, guys, I have another class starting right now. You guys are more than welcome to join. But thank you again for such a great class.
Okay, thank you for the
Yeah.
class.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Yep. See you guys.
next
Take
class.
care.
Bye, teacher. Bye,
Bye bye.
I'm a little bit tired, but it's okay. I will be fine.
Nice.
I didn't want to come.
Oh,
I
really?
was, yeah, but tomorrow we have elections here, so
Uh-huh.
I had to come back.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can imagine. So you were in the eastern part of the country, right?
Yeah, it's in the eastern part.
Nice, nice. That's really good. We have there's a good amount of. I actually did some extreme stuff today. Extreme for me. My friend dragged me to the top of a mountain. So we were biking, and he said, "Just come with me. We're going to a park. Come with me." So I go to the park, and it turns out to be a huge mountain. And
Wow.
so we climbed all the way to the top. I was saying some not so nice things to my friend when we were walking up that mountain. Because I was trying to carry my bike, and he was saying, "Come on, man, come on, do it," you know. So it was a funny situation for us today. But yeah, besides that, just planning my next project right now. So I'm staying busy.
Are you still in California?
Sí, señorita, absolutely. California is where it's at, El Paraíso.
Ah,
And the
El
decision,
Paraíso.
actually, the decision, la tierra de miel y leche, right? The decision is that I will not leave California actually until I don't know. So I'm just going to go back home for Christmas and to see my family. They live in New York, so all the way across the country, right, from California to New York. And then after that, after I meet my family, I'll come right back to California. So I'm going to be imposing on my friends here for another, I don't know how long. And maybe when the weather gets better, before things get really, really warm.
Jungle, yes?
Yes. It's jungle.
It's
It's all
dangerous.
green around. No, it's not that dangerous. There are not dangerous animals because the animals are disappearing there or are moving to other parts.
Uh, okay. I envy.
Yeah, it's so fun. Julie said that you were able to travel to the jungle. I have never been able to do that.
Yeah, you
Not
should.
a real jungle, not a real jungle. I've gone to maybe the zoo and they had a jungle section of the zoo, but not a real jungle.
Yeah, it's not the same. The zoo, it's all artificial.
Exactly, exactly. So, great, guys, great. Let's get started then, guys. Thank you for joining, as always. Today we are going to be taking a look at modals of ability and permission, right? And this actually, Julissa, I don't know if I was able to tell you, but Colingo has kind of modified all the levels, and this class is a high intermediate level class. The thing with high intermediate is that you guys are both above that level, I would say. But the way that it's broken up is we spend some time going over the grammar, and then the vast majority of the time is about the discussion. So I'm not going to be spending too much time on the grammar. I'm just going to be looking to see if we understand the different concepts, and then once we make some examples and I kind of have a conversation with you guys, we'll move on to the article, right? So today we're talking about food, actually, and when we are talking about food, we talk about, many of my articles have focused on fast food, many of my articles have focused on eating healthy, especially in a world where we have a lot of food that is available to us that is packaged and not very healthy. And the interesting thing about health and food and healthcare is that this article suggests a new way of labeling food so that it makes it easy for people to know what they are eating, right? For example, right now, if I go to a store, anywhere in the United States, right, I see any food item needs to have a box that says nutrition facts, right? And this nutrition facts, they have to tell us how many calories, how many grams of fat, how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbohydrates, et cetera, right? Tons of information on this label, right? The average person really does not read these labels, right? Someone like me, because now I'm going crazy, I want to live a very healthy diet, or live a very healthy life and eat very healthy, I read that. I read those boxes. But the vast majority of people, they just buy what they like, they buy what's tasty, they don't really care about those labels, right? So the idea is, can we develop a new, easy to understand food labeling system, right? Maybe number 1 is extremely unhealthy, number 5 is extremely healthy, right? So every food has a package, or every food package has a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You look at it, you say, okay, maybe today I want to eat more healthy, I will go with the number 3, medium, not healthy, not unhealthy, right? So this is the idea that this company, or a lot of companies, are now starting to develop. They want to have this as an option, right? So we'll talk about that in the second part of the class. In the first part of the class, guys, when we talk about modals of ability and permission, right? So farm in the springtime, I have to make a decision of where I will move, because Wisconsin, I have that apartment only until March 15, I think, March 15 or 16. So I
So
have to decide.
you don't live with your family in Wisconsin.
No, my family lives in New York.
Ah, I see. I see.
Yeah. Nobody lived with me in Wisconsin. I was living alone, but all my friends are in California. So so I
Yeah, yeah.
came here to be with them, and it's because we're working on projects. I'm thinking of graduate school projects, all sorts of things. So
Yeah, maybe there you can find more opportunities to
yeah,
get a
Wisconsin
job.
is like just milk and cows and cheese, and I mean it's not a very active state like California, New York, Texas, much more active. A lot of things happening.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey Gregory, welcome back.
Hello. I don't see who is it. Is it Yulisa?
Yes. Hi, Gregory. How are you?
New. Thank. I'm fine. New picture. It is you on the picture.
Yes, it's from my last recent trip that I took to the jungle.
Uh, Nice to see you again, Yulisa.
Nice to see you, Gregory.
It was good trip.
Yeah, I was there for 8 days. It was sunny the two first days, but then it started to rain. It was cloudy. But for me, that's amazing because here I don't see a real rain. There is like a shower with thunderstorms, and yeah, I like that.
What is it? Rainforest is jungle.
Modals of ability and permission. And one of the words that we're going to focus on is the word can, right? Can is the most popular, is the main modal of possibility. But we also have could and we also have may, right? So modals, I'm sorry, I said modals of possibility, excuse me. Modals of ability and modals of permission, right? So if I can do something, if I could do something, could I help you with your homework? I'm asking for permission. May I go to the restroom, right? May I walk outside in the dark? Maybe you're younger and you have to ask your parents, right? But the main one is can, right? The main verb, the main modal of ability is can. I can drive 60 hours across the country, right? You guys know about my crazy travel, right? I can speak Spanish and English, right? Whatever, your ability to do something. So I wanted to start the conversation with you guys by asking, what is something that you can do very easily? Very easily. You don't have to think about it. You're an expert. You don't have to worry about it, right? So Julissa, what can you do very easily? What's something that you can do very easily?
I can ride my bicycle
You can ride your bicycle. Fantastic. When did you learn how to ride your bicycle, Julissa?
when I was 6,
When you were 6,
5 or
okay.
6 years old.
5 or 6,
Yeah,
yeah. So essentially when you were much younger, right?
yeah, sure.
Fantastic, awesome. So we heard from Julissa, I can ride my bike, right? I can ride my bike very well, or I can ride my bike. Gregory,